Hello. On today's episode of Wonderful People Talking About Wonderful Things, we have two exceptionally wonderful people that we're very excited to hear from. This is Mr. Neal and Carla Freed, our beloved community members, and we're excited to hear what you have to share.
A number of years ago, we had a wonderful experience where our son was living in Israel, and we were fortunate enough to go visit him a couple times a year. And one trip, we were coming over to Israel, and we had photographed a wedding of a couple in America, and they had made Aliyah right afterwards. They moved to Israel, and the way it worked out, they had moved before the album was finished. So we were going to meet them in Israel, in Jerusalem, and deliver the wedding album.
So just a little backstory is we're photographers, so
right.
This is our clients who wanted to deliver their wedding album.
So they were thrilled that we were coming over, because how else were they going to get it? So they gave us their phone number, and we're all excited. And we land in Jerusalem, and we get to the hotel, and one of the first things we do is call them to tell them we're in country with the album, and we discover they gave us the wrong phone number. So we have absolutely no way to get in touch with them. So we're in the old city, and we're kind of at the top, I don't know what you call it, of where the wall is, the kind of up top where the old restored synagogue is, and all the shops are there.
There's a little cafe on the square, and we're sitting under the shade. And having
It's 197,000 degrees, but we are sitting in shade and having some iced coffees with our son, and we're having just this wonderful time. But there were three things that we kind of had to figure out. One is how we're going to get the album to these people. We can't get a hold of them. Two is we were having lunch with Rabbi Milikowski's sister and brother-in-law the next day, Rav Bina, and we didn't know what time they wanted us, and we had no way to get in touch with them. And third, for some reason, you had to get in touch with Lori Palatnik.
I wanted to say hello to Lori. She's a friend of mine. I wanted to see her, so I knew I wanted to reach her.
And we had no phone number for her. So we're sitting, having our iced coffee, and who should walk by but the chussin who gave us the wrong phone number. And so we were like, I forget his name, pretends, Alan, so good to see you. Hey, by the way, your number, I changed my phone. Great, we have that. So we make arrangements to get him the album because he literally walks by our table. Okay. And not 5 minutes later, who walks by? Rav Bina. And it's Rav Bina, so good to see you. Oh, Neal, yeah. By the way, what time is lunch tomorrow? And he tells us. And of course, not 5 minutes later, Lori Palatnik, who we're trying to get a hold of, she doesn't walk by, but her son walks by. And we say, can we have your mom's phone number? Because we have to get in touch with her. And so, of course, in the space of 10 minutes, the three people we have to get in touch with all literally walk by our table. And we come back, and I mean, that's just ridiculous. And we're telling the story to Rabbi Fink. And he says, Neal, what you don't understand is when I was in Israel at Yeshiva years ago, there were no cell phones. And to get a phone in Israel, you signed up, and it would take 12 years to get a phone. But nobody worried, because we all knew we're living in Hashem's backyard. And if you had to get a hold of somebody, you went downstairs, and they were going to walk by. And you just lived that way, because you're in Hashem's backyard. So we had a very, very special, unique, not ununique, we had a special for ourselves experience of being in Hashem's backyard. And just going outside, and exactly the people we needed to see walked literally right by us.
It's unbelievable. That is a classic Israel story.
Yeah. For someone who wasn't Israeli, he was like, to you, it's no big deal. To us,
it was really,
That's
just
amazing.
remarkable. It was beautiful.
It was a wonderful, wonderful story and a wonderful day.
Yeah, and the feeling of Hashem really being with us.
Amazing. Thank you so much.